Hello again, everybody, and welcome into the Take the North podcast. Along with Dan Wiederer of The Athletic, I am Mark Grote of 104.3 The Score. The Rahimi, Harris, and Grote show is what I do with a lot of my time. Danny boy, we got a big show today. What's going on, man?
Well, the biggest thing that's going on here this week is this announcement of a Bears Hallmark movie, right? And I think you and I are going to need to find a way to get some sort of role in this movie, right? I was trying to find the name of it here. It's like Holiday Touchdown, a Bears Love Story or something like that. But this is huge news.
On Hallmark Channel, absolutely. I don't know why I haven't been contacted yet. I don't know if my agent has been contacted yet. I assume I've missed a message somewhere along the line because I can't imagine two better people, two guys doing a Bears podcast who are at Hallis Hall a lot and are from here. I'm a little insulted.
Don't you believe that we need to get leadership somewhere in Odyssey, maybe from the Take the North podcast, to get Take the North featured in this touchdown love story, touchdown holiday, touchdown Bears love story?
Hey, man, who knows? Maybe we are in it and we don't even know about it at this point. Maybe they'll flash Take the North as the Bears podcast of record, which is what I think we are.
Do you know Lacey Chabert? The actress does a lot of Hallmark movies, was in Mean Girls back in the day.
Is that really her name? Chabert?
Yeah, Lacey Chabert. But I suggested to a buddy that maybe I could be in a Hallmark movie with her where we just get stranded on the road to Hammond or something, snowed in, and then we've got to figure out a way to connect. And then that would be the love story. But I would be a hard sell in the house here.
Watching Ben Johnson doing the preview for that, I thought to myself, could you imagine when they contacted Mr. Football and Mr. Intensity, my quarterback is just okay, Mr. Yeller, and they're like, here's what we'd like you to do. He's like,
so
what?
I would love, like, the Hard Knocks cameras that were up and just running at all times. I would love the Hard Knocks camera footage of the staffer that had to tell Ben, hey, we're going to need you for 5 minutes today to cut this promo for touchdown love Bears holiday story. I keep getting the name wrong, but like Ben's reading of the lines that he had to read from that came across so perfectly. Ben Johnson, like, let's get this shit over with. Let me get back to studying the Dolphins run tape.
As two guys who know how the hot dogs are made, there was like 6 or 7 takes too, and just to get it right. And like, not what am I doing now? What how do you want me to say it? Wait, what is this for? Where is this airing? Why am I doing this? Good, better, best. Can't we just get back to that?
Me and Jessica will love watching this beautifully romantic story of the Bears touchdown love story. I mean, look, like, I'm telling you, it would have been really fun to see that footage and really kind of the heart rate on the person that had to go bring that to Ben to say, hey, again, we just need a little of your time here this afternoon just to get this knocked out.
It's hilarious how we hit.
And then Colston Loveland seemed like he was like on the 7th hole of a golf course. He's like, let me knock this out while my cart partner putts out.
Well, I was wondering about Loveland too. Now, Loveland seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's not the type of guy who's going to go ego and push the media back. But he was so good with us last year. Like, played the rookie game. I've got to talk to the media, all that stuff. I hope that doesn't change for him because he's going to get a lot of these. Like, the better he gets, he's going to get more. He's a good-looking man. He is what the Bears have been needing forever. So as his star goes up, it'll be interesting to see what he agrees to and doesn't agree to going forward. No reason to think he wouldn't. He seems like a terrific kid with a good head on his shoulders, but I do think about those things.
This was a heavy aside to start this podcast, but I really do believe that we need to get the Take the North podcast into this Hallmark movie. It would be, I wouldn't say a bucket list item for me, but I'll add it to my bucket list now that we're putting it together.
Yeah, and our listeners and viewers could help us out. I mean, pop us out there on social media and be like, either put them in it or why are they not in it? So help us out. We appreciate everybody watching and listening to the Take the North podcast. And you have arrived on the Take the North podcast on a good day, because we love doing mailbag episodes. And we put the word out on Take the North that we were soliciting questions, and we got so many questions that we decided that we're going to spread it out over a couple of shows. So we got a bunch of questions that we're going to attempt to answer today, and we will move to our executive producer, Adam Studzinski, who will, I suppose, MC this. He's the one with the mailbag. He has power and control over the questions you are about to hear. Mr. Studzinski, how are you? Did you fold the laundry that was on your bed?
No, not yet. Not yet. That's on the list for.
Folding sucks, by the way. I hate folding. Some people like it.
Well, my lovely wife has already folded it. I literally just need to put them in the drawers.
Good for you. You're the king of your castle. Yeah, that's right. You make her fold that.
She does it of her own accord. I didn't ask. By the way, so before we get into the questions, I wanted to clear up the name of the Hallmark movie that the Bears are going to be in is Holiday Touchdown, a Bears love story.
Why did you have to clear that up? I thought it was pretty crystal clear with the way that I named it.
I just wanted to make sure that we are all on the same page. And there is a way for the general public to be extras in this movie. I think you can go on the Bears website and find that information. But
we are not interested in being extras.
No. I think we should be. I think we need to be accredited. Is what we need to be. Yeah, we need to be accredited. We need if we have to join SAG-AFTRA or whatever. That's fine. You know, maybe you guys are already in it. I don't know.
Come on, we're good and we're cute. So put us in.
Yeah, I'll lock down the SAG name, Adam Studzinski. I'm sure no one else has that. So anyway,
yeah, you're safe. I think we're all safe with our names, to be honest with you.
All right, we'll get into the questions here. This first question comes from Blue Sky, and the handle is Phantom Thief.
Okay,
and it's about the offensive line, specifically Jedrick Wills. So Jedrick Wills looked promising and played well for the Browns before his injury. If he wins the job, is there a chance they trade him if Ozzy Trapillo looks to be recovering well? I know there's a lot of assumptions here.
I'll start with that one, Grote. And look, there are a lot of assumptions there, but it's an interesting topic because we know that the spotlight at training camp is going to zero in on the left tackle competition and what's happening there. I think when we came out of the spring here, we had a sense that Braxton Jones has the inside track on winning that job. We feel like there's some upside to Karam Abagaji that the Bears are trying to squeeze the most out of here, which leaves Jedrick Wills really, in my opinion, fighting to make the roster. He's here on a 1-year, $1.25 million deal. That's the essence of a veteran prove-it deal in the NFL. And so I don't think that there is any trade potential there. But I'm interested to see if Jedrick Wills can kind of rise up and meet this moment to try to earn a job on the Bears 53-man roster. And we know how demanding training camp is going to be. Physically, mentally, he's going to have to respond to the challenges that Ben Johnson and Dan Rochar and Kyle Devan put out there for him. And he is a player that I'm interested to watch, again, when the pads come on and we start doing real live in the trenches stuff. What does he have? And how has he recovered from a series of injuries, including one that was a little bit unique in the NFL world? I think he said he had an osteotomy, which is go to WebMD and look up that procedure and realize that doesn't sound like something that you'd want to have done to help you get your stability in your legs back. Yeah,
I mean, I think this is a good time too to refresh people on exactly based on what you just said, Jedrick Wills' arc in the NFL. He was a 10th overall pick in the 2020 draft. Dan, and this is just perfect because it's indicative of his whole career. His first ever game that he played in, for Cleveland, he suffered a shin injury, which is just perfect foreshadowing for the rest of his career. 2023 MCL injury in week 9. 2024 played in 5 games because of injury. 2025 last year, and you were talking about it, Dan, he did not play last year.
Yeah.
And he wanted to allow those knee ligaments to fully heal. And he obviously was a free agent, and he decided not to sign with the team. He decided to get healthy, and maybe that was because the interest wasn't there. And I only highlight all of that to show you this is an uphill battle.
Yeah.
He's still young. He's 27 years old. He comes from great stock. He's obviously a very skilled player. But I say all of this to say his chances of contributing or truly being in the competition as a starting left tackle are very low, and the way the Bears are paying him shows that as well. There are a lot of outs in his contract, so it would be a terrific story if Jedrick Wills was to make the team, to be honest with you, let alone have a chance to start or even be real depth on the team.
I'm with you there. Low risk dice roll for the Bears, high stakes training camp upcoming for Jedrick Wills as he tries to figure out his professional future.
Amen. Next question.
All right, guys. So our next question comes from Twitter or X, whatever your preferred name for that website is. I know technically it's X, but whatever.
That website.
That website. Y'all know what that website is. So, and if you want to follow us on Twitter or X, it's at Take the North Pod. Anytime you want to send us questions. So anyway, this one is from at Realist at Heart 1. I am really hoping that the Bears will get some better depth at nickel and or a better fourth safety. Do you think either of those are likely? And then there's a fun follow-up that I'll throw at you guys once you guys answer that question.
Okay.
I love the question because from what I was seeing in the offseason program, there can be improvements at that nickel position. And I go back to being in the Walter Payton Center, Dan. You were there. A bunch of us were there watching one of the practices, and we see the rookie cornerback, Malik Muhammad, working on the inside. Now, they said, and I probably did a bad job of posing the question because I made it multiple choice. I said, are they just cross-training you, or are you actually working out there? So, of course, he went with the cross-training, but they may have been serious about Malik Muhammad playing in the nickel, which I don't necessarily think is great because he didn't have a whole lot of experience doing it. Dan, we saw Jalen Jones playing the position. Again, This is not a bad player, but I don't know that ideally Jalen Jones is the guy that you want to depend on. Josh Blackwell as a possibility. And then, of course, this all comes back to Kyler Gordon. And I think that's probably the spirit of the question, why the question is being asked, because we don't know about Kyler Gordon. I certainly haven't ruled out Kyler Gordon. Maybe he plays 17 games this season, but I do think it's a good question. As far as the safety sitch is concerned, obviously you're top heavy with Kobe Bryant and Dylan Thieneman. Elijah Hicks, nice depth. Cam Lewis, nice depth as well. And I know they have a couple of other guys who may be aldermen as well. I'm not sure if Gervasius Owens is who's played 5 games in 2 years.
23rd Ward.
20. So I do see what you're saying. So I guess I'll answer the question directly. Yeah, I think they do need help at the nickel spot, especially if they think Kyler Gordon is going to be out. We know how much C.J. Gardner-Johnson helped last year when they added him to the roster in season. I'm not saying you can make that splash at this point, but I do think they need help in that spot.
I'm going to take this backwards. I think the safety position is pretty well solidified. I actually like that room a lot. You mentioned the top end depth with Thieneman and Bryant. And then I really feel like the two guys that you have behind them, as long as Cam Lewis is healthy, and that was a little bit of a question during the spring, you've got two guys that are really good special teams players for you and can step in and play. And both those players have had to start in big moments for their teams over the years. And so I think you've got some experience there and guys that understand the role of being a backup safety and what that entails. So I like that room a lot, not really concerned. It's definitely not on my radar. As far as the nickel depth, you mentioned all the names there.
Yeah,
this really does hinge on the health of Kyler Gordon. And then the question comes in because there's outside concern about the health of Kyler Gordon. And then what, right? And last year, there was a combination of C.J. Gardner-Johnson coming in and Nick McLeod playing in there and then having to mix and match and do some things while Gordon missed almost the entire season. And so, look, I like Jalen Jones as a player too. He's been around a long time.
He's a pro, man.
Earned a lot of trust from a lot of different coaching staffs, obviously. During his time here. And so he's there, but you do have to develop it too. And it's got to be trained. Muhammad's, fit in there is going to be interesting to monitor during training camp. And then don't forget that these coaches have talked a lot about the nickel versatility of both Thieneman and Kobe Bryant, which then allows you to get creative on defense and mix and match some parts around. So it's a good question. And it's something that really, again, I think it just all ties into what we're going to be watching very closely for the first month of camp is Kyler Gordon healthy and can he stay healthy?
And then one more thing on the safety situation in Cam Lewis. For people who don't know a whole lot about Cam Lewis, he's been playing in Buffalo the last several years. And to your point about how much he was able to play, he played in every game with Buffalo the last 3 years. Not a lot of starts, but this is a player who is like the perfect backup. That's why when initially it was Kobe Bryant and Cam Lewis who looked like to be your starting safety, it was like, no. There's got to be more than that. Cam Lewis is a perfect depth piece for that safety spot. Sort of like Elijah Hicks. Like I don't want Elijah Hicks getting too much. I don't want him overexposed. But guys like Hicks and Lewis are terrific depth in the NFL.
Love it. Yep.
Mr. Studzinski, we are looking for our third question here on this Take the North Mailbag Day.
I think he's got 2B for us from Realist at Heart here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do. So the curveball here, we did ask for non-football questions. So this
which
is
I love.
Our,
I'm glad people responded to that.
This is one of our 2 non-football questions. So what's the best new TV show you've watched and why is it Widow's Bay?
Can somebody help me with Widow's Bay?
I'm clueless. I'll look it up.
I'm gonna have to look
no idea.
Also,
go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I've got issues with just personal issues with this question because we don't watch as much TV as I want to watch in this house, and a lot of it ends up being family TV. And we've been watching a lot of Modern Family reruns lately as a family, which, by the way, show has aged very well. Very, very, very funny show. Always get about 5 laugh out louds there. A couple things that I have on my radar to watch when I get time. DTF St. Louis, that's been highly recommended. Have you seen that? Or
that was gonna. That's so funny. That was absolutely going to be my answer.
All right. Well, wait.
DTF
Okay. And Shrinking is also one that's been highly recommended to us. And then we've been big into White Lotus over the years. And my wife never watched the first season, which was the Hawaii season. So that's on the radar to get back to because I thought that one was the funniest of the White Lotus seasons and was very, very good. Those have all been really fun watches because of the mystery involved and everything that goes there. But I'm going to turn this over to you. You've got some thoughts on DTF St. Louis, which is great.
Yeah. Well,
and then you can help fill in the gaps on some of this other stuff.
Yeah, I'll let people look up what DTF means. And I think most people are just in life. I think most people are DTF, which is great. I think that's a healthy thing. But yeah, DTF St. Louis, I love Jason Bateman, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's just so good. Like everything he does is excellent. Ozark was like kind of a revelation. Like, not that he needed his career like uplifted in any way, shape, or form because everybody knows who he is. But boy, did that put him back on the map. So yeah, I am in the midst of watching that right now and several other things I have gotten into because we are celebrating America's birthday. What is it? The 200th birthday? 250?
250. We do some basic math here. 250.
There's I've noticed like Netflix and some of the other providers are just putting all sorts of America type shows on. Like I'm watching a Ulysses S. Grant documentary right now as well and learning and there was an Abraham Lincoln documentary. Like watching Abraham Lincoln documentaries never gets old for me. So I am mixing the DTF with historical documentaries. But I did want to ask
an interesting
you
combo. Good combo platter there.
Oh, yeah. It's the single life, really. I can bounce between all sorts of different things here in my place. But the Modern Family thing is interesting. One of my close buddies, my guy Dan Levy, interestingly enough, was telling me the same thing about he's like, it's aged well. And he told me Urkel, whatever his name is, what's the actor's name? John Paul McGinnigan or something like that.
Who are you referring to at the moment? I don't know. You're thinking John Paul McGinley?
No, who's the main star in Modern Family?
Ty Burrell is the.
Dude, I am thinking of Family Matters.
Oh no, yeah, no, not Family Matters. No, not Family Matters. Modern Family.
Modern Family.
2 very different shows here.
Oh man, okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Urkel, Jaleel White was Urkel. If
Jaleel White, not McGinnigan.
I'm not sure that I've watched Family Matters since maybe like 1997. So that one I can't tell you how it's aged. But Modern Family, different show. I will also go to your DTF St. Louis here and tell you that Linda Cardellini on my short list in case Lacey Chabert can't do that Hallmark movie with me later this winter. Linda Cardellini, great in Mad Men, great in Dead to Me, and very good in DTF St. Louis as well.
Okay, I hope we have satisfactorily answered that question. I don't know that we did, but we tried. Yeah.
By the way, Widow's Bay is a American comedy horror TV series on Apple TV, apparently.
Okay.
So
all right.
I don't have Apple TV, so that's why I haven't watched it.
I'll add it to my list.
Okay. There you go. There you go. By the way, this isn't necessarily a new show. It's just finished its 4th season a couple months ago, but there's an animated series called Invincible.
Okay.
Which is based on a series of comic books, and it is absolutely phenomenal. I cannot, if it's based around, it's like a superhero kind of thing. So if that's not your thing, that's fine. But it's like really mature, and the fact that it's animated, don't let that turn you off. Like, it is incredible. It's incredible. I watched the first season and these are hour-long episodes. I don't know, like 8 episodes a season. I watched the first season in like 5 days. Like,
all right.
And I got the recommendation from my the recommendation from my nephew of all people. So
wow.
Anyway, so there you go. Throw it out there. You can watch all 4 seasons. It's on Amazon Prime if you have it. Anyway, yeah, question. We got another football question now. So this is from Dan McKibben.
Oh, from Family Matters?
yeah. Might be from Family Matters. He was an extra at some point. We don't know. So pretty straightforward question here. How can we feel good about the D-line?
How can we feel good? Well, I guess the only way that one can feel good about the defensive line is if you believe in players, A, getting healthy, and B, improving, because at this moment, that's what we're depending on. You are depending on not only Dayo Odeyingbo to be healthy, and it was nice to see him in the mandatory minicamp and the offseason program but you obviously need a whole hell of a lot more productivity out of Dayo Odeyingbo. You need more productivity out of Shamar Turner if he's to be healthy. And I can't even call it on him right now. I'm at this point, 50-50 on if he's even going to get in there like at the beginning of the season. You could feel better about the defense if Austin Booker goes to that next level. The forever question, is he a double-digit sack guy? One would suspect that Grady Jarrett was, a little with that knee procedure he had last year. He's got to be better. So I kind of hate the way I'm talking right now, because it's all about faith and hope that the guys that you have get better, because help is not at this moment on the way.
You just used the word that I was going to use, which is why we are so in sync with one another on this podcast. I think it's a leap of faith to feel good about the defensive line at this point. I really do. And you mentioned some things here that are reasons for optimism, but it's guarded optimism, right? Number one is health. You're hoping that Shamar Turner and Dayo Odeyingbo come back and play at the level the Bears think they can play at without any sort of physical setbacks. Number two is growth. You're looking at guys like Booker and Dexter to make jumps as young players, working with a coaching staff that believes in its ability to develop talent. Number three is these additions that they've made. You've got guys like Neville Gallimore and Kentavious Street to the interior that they believe are more DNA fits and guys capable of playing that attacking style that they want to play up front. And then you just really want to see that this comes to life with this whole focus on fundamentals, stress emphasis that the Bears put on the spring, that it's going to bring things out of all these players because they're in a better stance and they're doing things fundamentally sound in a way that the coaching staff wants them to match up with what they're trying to accomplish. And so there's a lot of reasons there that things could come together, but you can also hear the question mark at the end of every one of our sentences here on whether they will come together. And so it's a really, I think, a very timely question, and one that's going to require the microscope during training camp to see if this is actually moving in the right direction.
And one other guy that I don't think either of us mentioned is the 6th rounder, Jordan Vandenberg, out of Georgia Tech. We'll see. He's a 6th rounder. So, initially you don't say like that guy's going to contribute, but obviously he could. I think the fact that there's been so much, I guess I'll say, for lack of better phraseology, soul searching going on with the defense in terms of Dennis Allen getting up there and saying that we got to coach better. And Ben Johnson obviously started the trickle down effect. So if nothing else, they are hyper aware of it. They know what they did and didn't do in the draft. They didn't go get an edge. And I was okay with that. But they certainly haven't augmented here in the offseason unless there's some big trade or some big signing that we are unaware of. This is what you're going to war with.
Well, one more thing here, Montez Sweat, obviously, coming off what Ben Johnson called his best season as a pro, and the Bears believe there's more in there. And so, like that is, again, when you try to figure out if a team like the Bears is capable of sustaining the success they had last year, it comes down to your headliners, remaining headliners. And so Montez Sweat's piece in this puzzle is a big deal as well.
All right, let's keep the mailbag moving. Mr. Studzinski, what have ye for us next?
Before we get to our last actual football question, since you guys mentioned Montez Sweat, I literally just saw this on my timeline here. Montez Sweat, number 91 on the NFL top 100 players.
Wow.
So
okay,
there you go. The league obviously thinks highly, and Ben Johnson was pretty complimentary of Sweat last year too. So
that's
for what it's worth. There you go.
10 sec. Real quick. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Just put you on the spot. What had he been in the top 100 previously? Do you know? And if you don't, that's all good.
That's off the top of my head, I don't know, but I'll look.
Okay,
I'll look.
all good.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe once.
Wow. So, well, then that is pretty interesting. Then if he hadn't been previously.
Okay, so this one, we got a football question and a non-football question to close out this episode from at Be Like Mike on X. And so here we go. Do you see the combo of Swift and Monangai being as successful this year despite opposing teams being more privy to the Bears' rushing attack strategies?
Daniel, go ahead on this one. You start, buddy.
I just want to remind people that the running game is Ben Johnson's baby. We talk about all the things that Ben Johnson's good at. One of the things that he probably doesn't get enough credit for is the bread and butter, right? And putting together a running game that satisfies him. Look, this is a guy that came from high school in Asheville and understood from his earliest days in the sport how important a productive running game could be. And he builds everything off of that. And so, look, this Bears offense is going to continue to morph. This running game is going to continue to morph. That's a word that Ben uses often. I don't think defenses are going to get ahead of the Bears on this. I think they unlocked a lot of things with DeAndre Swift last year. I think they got Kyle Monangai going. And so I think systematically this thing is set up to succeed. And remember, when we asked Ben Johnson what he was going to do on vacation, his answer was he was going to go study the Miami Dolphins tape with Eric Studesville to find out what made the Dolphins running game so good. And so I would feel really, really confident in saying, and then you look, like I think last year, DeAndre Swift was the fourth running back in as many seasons with Ben Johnson calling plays to go over 1,000 yards rushing. So it's not like Ben is personnel dependent, with the way he calls it and the way he designs it. I would feel great about the Bears still having a very, very impactful running game in 2026.
I'll pick it up right there. DeAndre Swift had on the ground his best year in his career with 1,087 yards. The year before, his first year with the Bears, he did not get to 1,000 yards. So you could look at that alone. The fact that Kyle Monangai had 783 yards and 5 touchdowns with a guy that, we weren't sure what role he would play as a 5th rounder in life. So right there, you put that on the resume. And remember, last year, the first 4 games for the Bears running attack was bad. I mean, I like if you go back,
they were finding themselves. Yeah,
absolutely. And I remember Ben Johnson getting up there and saying, we'll take care of this. Because I think the questions were, do you need outside help? And we're all talking about the Bears have drafted somebody differently. Travion Henderson, all of that stuff was reopening. We're like, what the hell is wrong with the running game? You're just trying to get Caleb right. You don't even have a running game. After the bye week, and then into the Washington game, DeAndre Swift had his first 100-yard game after Ben told us he was going to take care of things. So he takes care of that, followed by another 100-yard game against the Saints. You had the Cincinnati game.
Cincinnati game was when Monangai went wild,
176 from Monangai. Of course, the famous Philly game, which was what really, Dan, one of the most pleasing games in the last decade. Honestly, to go on the road against a Philly team like that with a great defensive line and just a bust up, that was such a nice game to watch last year.
It was the signature win of the season until they added more signature wins of the season. You know what I mean? Like that was the announcement, the arrival game for the Bears on Amazon on Black Friday. And then obviously they backed it up with several performances down the stretch, including 2 against the Packers that really validated who they were as a team. But yeah, it's all running game centric. And so you feel great about that. I think the Bears they led the NFC last year in rushing yards. I think 3rd in the NFL total in rushing yards. And so this is going to be who they are as long as Ben's in the building. And so I feel great about it.
Right. And so I think the point is, I think Dan and I agree again. The point is, Ben Johnson is great at the run game. And even if there are times where it looks sluggish and it's slumping, Ben Johnson will find a way.
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay, so I was able to find out real quick before we get to our last question of this episode. Montez Sweat was the 82nd best player in the NFL on the top 100 players of 2024. So that would have been after his first year with the Bears, where he led both the Bears and Commanders in sacks. And he had a pretty good year that year.
Went to the Pro Bowl that year, yeah.
Yeah. So this is Sweat's second time on the NFL top 100.
All right.
And okay. Our last question, non-football question here. We know your thoughts on Counting Crows. This is also from Be Like Mike, by the way. Where does Nickelback stand in good or not good?
Oh, man. Is it my turn to go first here?
Sure is, Mark Grote.
I have never, I didn't hate Nickelback, but I also understood that they were gimmicky and very dramatic, and all. I've been to the bottom of every bottle, so I get why they're hated. But I mean, a couple of their songs you couldn't help but jam out to. How You Remind Me, and that Photograph song, and I know that there were a couple others. So I don't know that they're a good band, a band that I would say is like a hugely credible rock band, but I don't have hate for Nickelback.
Never made it as a wise man, couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. Just violated Zinski's.
You remind me of what I really am.
So I got two interesting thoughts to add to this. You know how I do like my grading of the quarterback during the season with emojis when I do the performance? I would give Nickelback a thumbs down, but not a puke emoji. If that's it.
Okay.
I don't love them, but I'm not going to be like, oh God, Nickelback. So it's a thumbs down, but not there. Now, we did have a conversation before we came on to record about why it is so easy to confuse Nickelback with Creed. And I actually like Creed a little bit more than Nickelback. and my buddy Mark, who you met on the street before the playoff game, when we were walking down the street, this would have had to be the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a little bar on Oakton in Niles called Cheers. And you didn't walk into Cheers unless it was like 2:30 in the morning. And Mark would just put One by Creed. He would play it like 17 times in a row. So that's what I think of when I hear Creed, is just one, the only way is one. I will take you higher. So I think I give Creed a shrug and Nickelback a thumbs down.
Creed is a big thumbs down. I think they interfered. See, I have a problem. My problem, and I admit this, like I didn't think this was a problem. I got so hooked on grunge, so hooked on Pearl Jam, and I own it and I love it, and I still go to every single Pearl Jam concert I can go to. But Scott Stapp, is that his name, the lead singer? And I'm not saying he was trying to sound like Eddie Vedder necessarily, because it was the sound of the 90s, and I know there was later 90s for Creed. He just sounded
wide open.
Oh no. Actually, at the right moment, that's a nice song. Like if you're feeling if you're feeling a certain way, like it's got, you know how music is all just vibes, right? Time and place. There's some songs that don't sound good at certain times, but at other times they do. So I guess I'll give Creed that, but I can't give Creed a thumbs up.
I gotta give thumbs up to our audience for giving us some non-football questions. It's always a fun topic. There's some good ones here today.
How about Three Doors Down? Do we like Three Doors Down? Kryptonite. That one song, Kryptonite. You can be my kryptonite.
Jaleel White.
If you guys don't mind me chiming in a little bit on this,
I'm here without you.
First of all, I like Three Doors Down. I'll put that out there.
I don't think they're bad.
I'm not saying I'm a fan, like a big fan. I like Three Doors Down.
Okay.
I do stand in this. I do have the stance of, and this was brought to my. I'm stealing this stance from a comedian that I saw on like Instagram years ago. I don't remember the guy's name, but his point was, what did Nickelback ever do to anybody? Like why? Like what did they do to garner so much hate? And I understand the music isn't like great, right? But especially their early stuff, the stuff you guys have been referencing was stuff that was coming out like when I was in high school, early high school. So it was like really, I don't want to say foundational, but that's what was on the radio, So you heard it a lot. It's just kind of ingrained in you. So I dig some early Nickelback. The song "Someday" was actually I think on our my senior year of high school's highlight film for one of the games.
Photograph.
That one wasn't on there. Yeah, it's really cheesy. The song Rockstar's got a fun vibe to it, and then Animals is like a cheesy hard rock song. So yeah, it's
here's
anyway.
the problem was, and you're right, like what did they ever do to anybody? And some of their songs are catchy. You can't help but talking about drinking down to the bottom of every bottle. It's tough. The problem is that they were post grunge, which was this raw rock, heavy riff, punk sound of realness and hurt. And we're not going to like that. That was the problem. Their timing was off. If they had been around like in the 80s, like in that whole time, they may have been a revelation for the Poisons and the Motley Crues and Rat and all of those types of bands. So it was all timing, I think, with both Creed for sure and Nickelback too.
Can I tell you where the Cold Tub Time Machine just took me in this discussion? I just got on the Google machine to look this up. Do you remember the Q101 Jamboree that used to happen down at Tinley Park every summer?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I went in 1996, and as you guys were doing all this, I was like, I'm wondering, trying to remember the artists that were there. Let me read you these artists here. You can just wait till the end and chime in on whoever strikes you the most. But this is, I believe this is in alphabetical order: Candlebox, Cracker, Cypress Hill, TTN favorite, Everclear, Filter, Foo Fighters, Garbage, Girls Against Boys, Korn, No Doubt, Seven Mary 3, Stabbing Westward, the Afghan Wigs, and the Refreshments.
Ooh, I like a lot of that.
Wild.
That's quite the list.
Wild list there. Yeah. I remember I didn't think Everclear was like a mosh pit type band, but there was like a mosh pit that broke out during Everclear at one point, and I saw a guy get his teeth knocked out by another guy's head, and it was like the grossest thing to watch up close and personal.
Yikes. I'm glad you brought a Candlebox. I always thought they were a little underrated. Like they
Far Behind is as good as it gets in the summer of '94.
Soulful song, man. And Cracker and Korn I've seen probably too many times now. I've seen Korn. I was a late bloomer to that form of prog rock, the Korn and that whole movement, but Seven Mary 3 is pretty sick. All right,
and that's probably early Foo Fighters too, before the Foo Fighters got like big, right? Like
that's like
emerging.
first. That's like Everlong Foo Fighters. Like that was probably like their first album, Foo Fighters. Yeah, because
I will be attending Riot Fest this year. How you guys for Tool? Are you guys Tool fans? It's a controversial topic, Tool, sometimes.
I don't know. All right. Well, all right. Since we're going on the music topic here, you're gonna get me rolling. If anyone that doesn't like Tool, like just straight up, does not understand music. Tool might be literally the best band on the planet as far as like musically, the stuff that they do. And their drummer, Danny Carey, is probably the best living drummer. If he's not number one, he's number two, especially since we lost Neil Peart a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. What about the one-armed guy from Def Leppard?
Is he still around? I don't know. I don't know if he's still around. And look, what that guy does is incredible. Don't get me wrong. Tool's amazing. And every now and then, though, like every decade or so, they release an album, and they're just like, "Hey, yeah, by the way, we're still the best band on the planet." And so. Anyway, that's my Tool rant. So yes, Tool, 2 thumbs up.
Maynard James Keenan, man, two bands. that he fronts. So I forget the other one.
Perfect Circle.
Perfect Circle. I was going to say 30 Seconds to Mars or something like that.
No, that's Jared Leto.
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah.
Come on.
This is the
don't even
podcast in
sound the
June.
same.
It's Hallmark movies and Tool. This is Take the North in June.
Alanis Morissette is going to be there. 21 Pilots, All American Rejects, Morrissey, and the Pixies. Where is my mind? So I am looking. It's like Lollapalooza for people a little bit older.
When is it?
Ride Fest is in
September.
September.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do a concert review after that.
And
absolutely,
Grote, if you get a chance, check out the band that's going to be playing there called The Format. Big fan of them. They are back actually doing shows again. I saw them play in a couple months ago at the Shed, the Salt Shed.
Yeah.
And this is a band. I'm not going to go into the whole thing with them, but they've been around. They were around in like the early 2000s, and then they went away. And they only had like 2 albums and a couple demos, but their music got like a really good like cult following. And like me and my college friends were really into it. Never thought we'd actually get to see them play. And we were supposed to see them play in March 2020. Obviously, that didn't happen because of COVID. They ended up canceling that reunion tour, and we got to see them play this year. And they're I think you might dig them. They're good.
Okay.
They're really good.
Recommendation accepted.
I think they play on Saturday at Ride Fest.
Okay.
Correctly.
Are you going?
I'm gonna try to go. Yeah.
Okay. Our station is sponsoring it.
Yes. The score is a partner of Ride Fest.
I think you might be able to get a pass. I'm just saying.
I hope you say Mitch. Hey, Mitch. Mitch. What do you say?
Something. Is that it? Oh, can I ask one more band question?
Now maybe
We're on a whole aside here. I love this.
Didn't
Wait, what were you
mean
saying?
to
If you're
treat
still
you
listening to the podcast at this point, you're a big fan.
but I
let me tell you.
did it anyway.
Candlebox, baby. Yes. All right, one last band, and then we'll get out of here. Stained with Aaron Lewis. It's been a while. It's been a while since I have heard the Bears.
I don't know much about Stained, but I feel like that song is one that I have jammed to a time or two. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm sure
some good
I
hard
could
stuff.
hold my head up high. It's been a while.
If you've had the radio on at any point in the last 25 years, you've heard that song. I guarantee
you have. It did get overplayed a little, but they actually they have some harder stuff.
It's still like I would argue it's still borderline overplayed. Like I still hear it more often than I feel like it should be played.
Yeah, it did get crushed. There's no doubt about it. And then Aaron Lewis is a cool guy though. From what I've seen of him and watched him doing some solo stuff and taking requests from the crowd, I think he knows who he is and he's an interesting guy. I think that's it, gentlemen.
Okay.
I think that's going to be it for today's episode. We gave you way more than we expected to be giving you. In the next episode, we've got more mailbag, more questions. So if you're just catching up and back-to-backing us, we're going to have more questions, and there may even be more silly questions coming up next. So that's going to do it for this episode. For Dan Wiederer of The Athletic and of Candlebox, apparently, for our executive producer.
Left me far behind.
It's such a passionate song. Let's bring Candlebox back.
Behind.
It's time to give them the respect that they got respect, but maybe not enough. For our executive producer and MC for today, Adam Studzinski, I am Mark Grote of The Score, and I want to thank you for listening to and watching the mighty Take the North podcast.
Great talk. See you out there.